For context, a commenter called Lord Lost replied to my video called Necros is wrong, and we proceeded to have a comment chain of 29 comments before he stopped replying and gave up, which was the exact point I was waiting for to make this video. Now, while I'd love to debunk every sentence he made in a video, I already did that in that comment chain, which you can still see, and I would rather not have this video reach several hours long. I will also not cover repeats, meaning if I debunked a point, I'm not going to repeat myself multiple times in a video like he did. Now, let's start the highlight reel of his worst of the worst takes. Blatant disinformation and stats. He says, supports are in fact brain dead. Not all supports are bad. Some are actually good at support, but those are typically flex players because they are normally DPS who think outside of the box of just holding the heal button on the party and actually making plays. He is a DPS player who plays support, so let's check his numbers to see if he can back up his words. He has played 45.5 hours on Loki and averages 6,905 damage per 10 minutes and only 6,971 healing per 10 minutes. Now me, who only started playing DPS a lot since season 2, I must have much worse stats than him, right? Well, let's check my stats. I average 1,954 more damage per 10 minutes and 15,728 more healing per 10 minutes than him as of writing this. He peaked Grandmaster 2, I peaked Celestial 1, which I never fell out of unlike him. He says, support players fundamentally do not require the fundamentals at the game. Even the ones who do take aim only need to aim at party members who want to get hit by you. But he misses one key factor. Your teammates are also avoiding the enemy damage. Hence, unless your teammates are behind cover standing still, you as a support are competing with the enemy on who can shoot better. He says, Squirrel Girl takes more skill than half of the support cast, unironically. I don't agree with him on this, but at least with every support, you need to be looking in the general direction of your team to start the healing process, or deal damage to the enemy. With Squirrel Girl, you can be looking at a wall at a choke for multiple minutes, and get many kills and a ton of damage. He says, rank thing started? It just sounds like moving the goalpost. Tome? He misspelled to me. He needs to do the challenge immediately when you say to do it. He apparently preemptively knows they're getting buffed and intentionally made it easy for himself. Other than the spelling mistake there, the devs announced changes to support and dives.
In the upcoming patch, we will enhance the damage capabilities of certain strategists to elevate their threat levels. Oh shit.
So yeah, the update didn't come out of nowhere, so he did know of it. He says, yes, healers are important to the fight, but all you have to do is not die and use your ult at the right moment, which can be said about any role. As a DPS, all you have to do is not die and use your ult at the right moment. As a tank, all you have to do is not die and use your ult at the right moment. He says, isn't support still having issues even now with rank ups due to engagement based system? Before, it was unfair because the devs saw there's a disparity in comp points given to support players, or lack thereof.
We've noticed that, compared to the previous seasons, a smaller number of duelists have a slight advantage in performance ratings in Season 2.0, while some vanguards and strategists face a slight disadvantage. However, most heroes remain balanced. In the upcoming patch, we will optimize the performance rating calculations based on the latest data to ensure the fairness across all heroes. Now they're going to try to make it fair for all the characters. Also, yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's slight. I don't know about that.
The engagement-based system impacts everyone equally now, at least in terms of matchmaking. He says, what revolutionary buffs occurred that made ranking up a breeze for Necros? I don't recall anything. Well, in my video, I never said it was a breeze for Necros. One of my main points was saying he struggled in GM. During his 10-hour losing streak, he felt those growing pains when his playstyle in low ranks couldn't fit anymore in high ranks, and you could tell he was playing differently in the stream he got to Celestial 3 in. And here are the changes made to make it easier for him. Damage increases to Luna, Mantis, Cloak and Dagger, buffed Adam's healing by making a headshot take 1 second off the cooldown for his healing. And the biggest one being the devs changed it so the rank system no longer gives supports less points for doing more. He says, my deaths as a DPS don't matter as much as long as my team is pulling their weight. It's only if I'm dying a lot that it becomes a problem. No, if you as a DPS have more deaths than anyone on your team, you are the liability. The Squirrel Girl example is especially the case. I'm saying her ult is conditional, whereas most healing ults are good and will make you immortal 99% of the time. So he's saying support ults aren't conditional, so it thinks you can use it at any time. Yeah, no, that's not how it works at all. Also, there are major counters to support ults like Magneto ult, Iron Man ult, and the new Jeff NATO team up, among many others. He says, but apparently because I don't know what exact terms go where, despite doing both of the things you mentioned, sending clones into the team to make space with immortality, and putting them out of the way for you to camp in a hard to reach place, apparently that invalidates me maining the character when I do play support. Among those two things, you also just suck at support. Yes, he said it was easy and then proved it was easy by playing from start to finish on support and getting to Celestial. So, Necros, a consistent top 500 player who's made it to #1 in the entire world multiple times, was able to play a role from Bronze 3 to Celestial 3 in a little over 60 hours of streaming. That doesn't sound too far of a stretch. Any top 500 player, or even any top player for that matter, any Eternity player, can play any role for the first time and have similar results, no matter which role they played before. He says, I know you think only Celestial and above are good, but according to the numbers, Diamond is above average. I'll leave this graph here while I talk. No matter who you talk to, Diamond players aren't known to be great at the game. And since there is no place in games, everyone who doesn't play ranked is put in Bronze 3. Bronze 3 has almost the same amount of players as Bronze 2, Bronze 1, Silver 3, Silver 2, and Silver 1, all put into one. So yes, only good players most of the time can make it to Celestial or higher. Also, you can't get in high tiers of Celestial like 2 and 3 with a subpar below 50% win rate. He says, as far as I know, it is still hard to rank up with support. But earlier he says, Flank Loki is bad. My support is that I was using Flank Loki alone despite being a mostly DPS player to get up to Diamond, using an insufficient style to do so. So which is it? Is support easy and brain dead? Or hard to rank up with? And later on in that comment he says his point was that he got there despite not being a support player. Same way I can use Loki in a dumb way and still get to a decent rank. So in the same comment he flip-flopped his stance 2 times already. Even if I give you that and pretend Necros intentionally waited for the support to be able to rank up just as much as any other role, how is that a problem? I already listed out the changes earlier, but I just have to say one thing for this. Him waiting allowed him to play in an easier spot for supports to rank up in. If he played support in the time where supports were striking in, it would have taken him even longer to get up to Celestial. Longer than 60 hours of streaming. Is he supposed to try and rank up when the system is literally unfair to supports at the time? Yes, that was the whole point of the support strike. And again, you're now arguing the support is hard to rank up with. That's flip-flop number 3 in the same comment. Most supports do not even have to really aim. And the ones that do are not as intensive on aim as DPS on average, since DPS has to go for the head for efficiency. The vast amount of supports have delayed aim, while more DPS have hit scan than support, making it easier to aim. Even if you mention Loki, who can shoot at the ground, there's a stat difference when he hits the ground compared to if it's a direct hit, which I know you don't know. And try shooting a flying character with Loki, then try hitting a flying character with Bucky. Then let me know which is easier. Yes, DPS is harder than tank. I mean, I don't think I even need to say anything here. Everyone agrees the tank is the hardest role. And as a support and DPS main, tank is by far the hardest role in the game. It's the only role I couldn't go into and easily be good at. No contest, also he's misspelled too. He says, managing ults is probably the hardest thing supports need to do. But earlier, he said, the Squirrel Girl example is especially the case. I am saying our ult is conditional, whereas most healing ults are good and will make you immortal 99% of the time. So that's flip-flop number 4. Rocket is immortal, just no. Even more so after his mobility nerfs. His own healing isn't nearly as self-sustaining as it needs to be for him to be immortal, or even take most attacks in the game. Jeff is unkillable. Tell that to an Iron Man ult. I get last season Jeff had the highest survivability, but that doesn't mean he is unkillable. Also, if you unplug that game, Jeff is a flanking Jeff for the majority of Marvel Rivals history, which mostly affected supports. Adam has a 30-second move. No. Adam has a 40-second cooldown. Last season, he had a 30-second cooldown. He's had a 40-second cooldown for a while now. Necros is a higher rank than you, and by your own admission, a better player. Therefore, your opinion is invalid, and he is automatically correct. Well, since I picked Celestial 1 and you picked Grandmaster 2, I guess by your logic, your opinion is now invalid, and I'm automatically correct. How easy that is now. Why didn't I just start with that? Even more so, since Lord Lost has 479.6 hours in the game as of writing this, and I have 259 hours. He has a win rate in comp of 48.66%, while mine is 55.5%. He talks about boosted supports, but he is a boosted player. I'm closer to Necros in rank than Lord Lost is to me. In Season 2, Lord Lost had a 44.8% win rate in Platinum. You literally claim support is the hardest. No. In my video, I said tank is the hardest, but each role is as difficult as the person playing them. The difficulty of all roles are based on the person playing them. A person who really wants to play Vanguard could play horrible in that role, but easily play Duelist because their instincts and playstyle better fit that role. I personally think Vanguard is the hardest, then Strategist, then Duelist, but someone could rearrange these in any order to better fit their own experiences. He says, Loki is probably the hardest support, and even his mechanical skill regarding aim is brain dead. If his aim is so brain dead, why do you only have a 40% accuracy rate with him? With a peak of 60%. I have a 49% in all seasons with a peak of 68, and so far this season it's 57%. If his aiming is really that brain dead, you would have a higher accuracy percent than me. Since you said only good supports are DPS players, right? I've played GM, and no, I think those people get bamboozled by that weird playstyle too. No, they didn't. In the season you got to Grandmaster 2 in, your peak, you had a 49.85% win rate. Also, you misspelled 2 again. I flanked plenty of healers. They are completely clueless, which is another reason why supports are bad. To be fair, you were in Platinum with a negative win rate last season. Any player in Platinum isn't the greatest. You being a great example. I can literally duel DPS who should shred me as a solo Loki in a 1v1. Why? Because I'm a flex player and I think outside the box of just healing numbers. Whereas 90% of healers come in with Mercy main brain with your negative win rate, right? And a 40% accuracy rate. I'm far from boosted considering I solo queue and mostly DPS anyway. Again, with your negative win rate, right? I literally said in one of my first comments that Loki is an example of a support who does have to aim. No. You said Loki is probably the hardest support and even his mechanical skill regarding aim is brain dead. Again, you are flip-flopping. You might know more about support than him, but he knows more about the game than you. Therefore, you are automatically wrong. Put simply, just because a person is better at one thing doesn't mean they are better at everything. Necros, while being a better player than me, doesn't know nearly as much on support as I do. Also, that was a main point in my video. Now, before anyone says anything about this, no, I'm not a better player than Necros, but I am a better strategist. There's a difference between knowing how to play a character and actually playing them well. Knowing how to play a character can take you far. Like it took him to GM3, but you need to play support a while to learn the nuances. Good for you for doubling my healing numbers. You likely have more hours than me. No, like I mentioned, you have 479.6 hours in the game as of writing this, and I have 259 hours, or an 85.18% increase. If I was serious about ranking up, I'd just go Wolverine and Penny the entire season. Well, he does have a slightly above 50% win rate as Wolverine. He has a 49.5% win rate as Penny, so we can't include Penny in that statement. Every relevant DPS content creator disagrees with you. Well, I bet every relevant support content creator disagrees with you. Doesn't disprove anything or prove anything. You're gloating about healing numbers versus someone who barely plays support. Yes, and it really shows. Support players are spoiled and can't fight for shit. Hence why support mains are all bad and suck. Says the one who has a negative win rate and competitive. Talking to a support player who has a positive win rate. I never said anything about DPS content creators. Yes, you did when you said every relevant DPS content creator disagrees with you. I'm using bad strats and still getting results due to raw mechanics. Says the one with a negative win rate, right? Come on. You are likely mostly a healing main, and all you do is spout numbers. I have 3 lords right now, the most recently being Iron Man, who is my most played character of Season 2, and is by far my most played character of Season 2.5, so no, not a healing main. And in this video, I'm only showing games of me playing Iron Man. I'll continue not being boosted like the supports you vehemently defend. Again, says the one with a negative win rate and competitive in all seasons. I literally used Invisible Woman to get into Plat during Season 0. Do you mean the character who was only introduced in Season 1? That Invisible Woman? I'm sorry Necros is more popular than you, but I never brought that up. But earlier, he says, I never heard of you, and the people I got coached by, not just in this game but in harder games, are far more relevant than you will ever be. So, unless you want to change the definition of relevant, you are flip-flopping again. You also claimed that I was boosted, but if I was mostly playing support until Diamond, and apparently boosted my way there according to you, then that proves my point that support is boosted, lol. Well, let's check then. In your top 10 characters of all time, there are 5 DPS with a combined 217.6 103.6 hours, 3 tanks with 103.6 hours, and 2 supports with 73.9 hours. It doesn't prove your point at all, other than you are lying. Most of my time last half season was spent in Diamond. No, because in that season you peaked Platinum too, you never made it to Diamond. There are very specific reasons I'm not already Celestial myself. No, there's a pretty clear reason you aren't Celestial. You are just bad at the game. I say to him, I bring up stats and you bring up hypothetical statements. That's the difference. And he responds with, you are the one dabbling and babbling about hypotheticals. Like he just didn't make another earlier in his comment by saying, if I beat you. Now let me just read out some of the cringiest, most edgy things he said, and let's see your reaction on them. So if you won't fight me, then bow your head, little Celestial, before me, before Null. Bow out before I behead you. I'm giving you a chance to stop embarrassing yourself now. I'll literally behead you and make you a fucking armory out of your corpse. I'd literally force you to have to change your name to Deceased Person 666. You've conceded to me already. There's nothing more to say here. Don't comment again, boy, until you grow up here and 1v1 me. Now, if you're curious, he mentions 1v1 8 times, duel 9 times, and goalpost 10 times. He really wants my attention to be in a lobby with him. If you want to see the full comments of me and him, I'll link the video down in the description down below, or you can either find the video at the end screen of this video or just go to my channel. I may also post a video of me reviewing his Loki gameplay. Leave a comment down in the comment section down below of your thoughts, but be civil about it. I'll treat you with the same amount of respect you give me. Now, until next time, see ya.